So we shall start our lessons with PPC. Basically, this topic comes under the unit 1 of micro. Okay, and this is one of the most important topic of this chapter. And PPC basically is known as production possibility curve, or it is also known as production possibility frontier. And as defined, it is said that it is a locus of points means it is a combination of points. All the lines or all the curves are basically a locus of points or a combination of points. All lines are made of several points, innumerable points. Okay, so it is also known as a locus of points, and each point in this curve shows a combination of two goods. Okay, see, this is a locus of point, and every point on the curve, this point shows a combination of two goods. One good is car and the other good is wheat. So point C shows that it has 8 kgs of wheat and 1 car. Okay, then point D is also showing a combination of 6 kgs of wheat and 2 kgs of car or 2 cars. Okay, so according to the definition, it is said that it is a locus of point and every point shows a combination of two goods which can be produced by an economy or an producer by using all its resources. Means point C, point D, or you can take another point E, or point F, point B and point A. Any point lying on the curve shows a combination of two goods, and for producing that combination you have to exhaust all your resources. Obviously these goods can be made by using some resources. This good for the production of goods you need some amount of resources, and for producing those amount of resources, good, all your resources will get exhausted. Okay, so this curve basically shows your production capacity. Okay, any point within the curve will also show a combination. Okay, but it is said that this combination does not require your resources to get exhausted. Means you can produce this point G or this combination G, however your entire resources won't get exhausted. Suppose you have say your income is 1 lakh rupees. Okay, with this 1 lakh rupees you can buy G, that G implies say bicycle. So with this 1 lakh rupees you can buy a bicycle. However, after buying a bicycle you will still be left with some amount of money. All your money won't get exhausted. Okay, then any point on this curve implies say a Tata Nano car. You can purchase this Tata Nano car using this 1 lakh rupees, and your entire 1 lakh rupees will get exhausted. Understand? And any point outside this curve say H is beyond your capacity, मतलब वो हैसियत से बाहर है. ठीक है, one say it is a, this point refers to an aeroplane. So with this 1 lakh rupees you cannot purchase an aeroplane. Understood? So what have we learned? Any point on the curve shows a combination of two goods which can be purchased or which can be produced using your given resources and technology. However, for production of these goods, your entire resources will get depleted. You won't be left with any amount of resources in your hand. Again, if you choose any point within the curve, okay, not on the curve, within the curve, it will again show a combination of two goods. However, for producing this combination you won't have to finish up your resources. You will be still left with some amount of your resources, and Point H also shows a combination of two goods. However, this combination can't be produced. You don't have the required amount of resources to produce this combination. Okay, am I clear? And over here on the axes we have chosen two goods, one is car and one is wheat. We all know that wheat, for production of wheat we need huge amount of labor, so it is known as labor intensive good. And for car we need huge amount of capital. Capital means paisa, money. So for producing cars we need huge amount of capital, and therefore it is known as capital intensive good. Okay, so this is the PPC curve, and we have learned about these points lying on the curve, within the curve and outside the curve. Okay, and all the points shows combination of two goods. The basic difference between these points are, this point does not imply exhaustion of resources, this point implies exhaustion of resources, and this point implies that this combination cannot be produced using your given amount of resources or technology. Okay, now there are two important points, point A and point B. Now point A and point B are known as intercept of x-axis and y-axis. Okay, now what does this point A means? Point A means this is the maximum amount of wheat that can be produced. Okay, OA is the maximum amount of wheat that can be produced if you use all your resources in the production of wheat only. You are sacrificing the production of car here. Okay, you are not producing any amount of car. So OA is the maximum amount of wheat that can be produced using all your resources. Okay, if you employ all your resources in the production of wheat, OA is the maximum amount of wheat that you can produce. Similarly, OB implies the maximum amount of car that you can produce if you employ all your resources in the production of car only, and here you are sacrificing the production of wheat entirely. So OA and OB shows the maximum amount of car or wheat that can be produced by an economy. Okay, so these are basically the upper limits of the production of both the commodities. Then comes the concept of why PPC is a negative sloping curve. Now we see over here that it is a negative sloping curve. If it were a positive sloping curve, it would look somewhat like this. The difference between the positive and negative sloping curve is that in positive sloping curve, see, this axis implies x-axis and this is the y-axis. So in a positive sloping curve you will see that if one variable increases, the other variable increases too. So here x is equals to 1 and y is also equals to 1. Then if I move upwards over here, it can be seen that the x has increased as well as the y has also increased by one more amount. So in positive sloping curve, both the variable increases or decreases together. However, in a negative sloping curve, we will see that if one variable increases, the other variable will decrease. See over here, initially we have this point C, which is corresponding to 8 kgs of wheat and 1 car. Okay, now we want to increase one amount of car, we want 2 amounts of car. So if there is an increment in the car production by 1 amount, the wheat production decreases by 2 amounts. So what do we see over here? That an increment in car is related to a decrement in the wheat production. So over here the variables are moving in the opposite direction. If one increases, the other will decrease, and if the other decreases, the car will increase. Okay, so we have opposite relation over here, and here in a positive sloping curve we have a direct relation or a positive relation. Okay, so you guys might ask me why this curve shows a negative relationship between two variables. This is because our resources is constant. Suppose I am giving you guys 20 rupees, okay, and I have asked each of you to bring me 3 packets of chips and 3 packs of chips and 5 lozenges or Candyman or something. Okay, so what you will do, you will purchase 3 5 rupees chips packet and you will get 5 lozenges for me by spending 1 rupees upon each lozenge. Okay, so after bringing these things to me, I might ask you that I need 2 chips packets now and 10 lozenges. So in that case, what you will do, you will go back to the shop. You still have 20 rupees. Okay, now what you will do, you will reduce 1 chips. You will get 5 rupees by sacrificing 1 chip packet and use that 5 rupees in purchasing of additional 5 lozenges. Okay, so what are we doing? As our resources is constant, this 20 rupees is constant, what are we doing? We are sacrificing 1 chip packet. By sacrificing this chip packet, what are we getting? We are getting 5 rupees as resources which can be used in the purchase of lozenges now, and thus we are now having 2 chips and 10 lozenges. Okay, so if we want to increase the number of one variable, the other variable needs to be sacrificed, because we have constant amount of resources. Then comes the concept of what is opportunity cost. Now opportunity cost implies the next best alternative that is sacrificed. Suppose this is a land, and in this land you can either produce wheat, and by producing wheat you can get 30 kgs of wheat, and if you choose to produce rice you can get 20 kgs of rice. Now which crop would you choose? Technically everyone will choose to produce wheat, because if you produce wheat you will get 30 kgs of wheat, and for producing this wheat, what are you sacrificing? You are sacrificing 20 kgs of rice. So this 20 kgs of rice is basically your opportunity cost. It is the next best alternative that you are sacrificing. Okay, so 20 kgs of rice is the next best alternative that you are sacrificing, and it is therefore known as the opportunity cost. Now let us bring in another crop, say jute. Now if you use the same land for production of jute, you will get 25 kgs of jute. Okay, in this case you have 3 options. You can choose any of these 3 options. Obviously you will still choose wheat. However, now what will happen, your opportunity cost will be jute, because it is higher than the rice production. When these 3 options are available to you, you will obviously choose to produce wheat. However, the next best alternative is not rice right now, it is wheat. Okay, so always go for the second best or the next best alternative that you are going to sacrifice. The next best alternative that you will be sacrificing will be known as opportunity cost. Now we will move to the concept of shifting and rotation of PPC. Okay, now the PPC shows your production capacity. Okay, however, the production capacity of an individual or an economy does not remain constant. It may increase or decrease with an increase in its resources or its technology. Okay, so in case of PPC, first we will encounter the concept of rotation, how a PPC rotates. It has 2 causes. Number 1, if resources favorable for the production or to the production of any one good changes, or number 2, if the technology favorable for the production of one good witnesses and upgradation. Let us understand it by an example. This is a PPC, and this PPC has been drawn under the assumption that you have 10 labors and 10 capitals. In economics we denote capital by K. Okay, so this PPC AB has been drawn under the assumption that you have 10 labors and 10 capital. Now obviously your labor or capital stock may witness a increase or a decrease. Okay, may witness an increment or a decrement, because obviously labor force is subjected to change. A country's labor force may increase due to migration. A country's labor force may decrease due to increase in death rate. Okay, so labor force may change. Similarly, capital stock may also change. The amount of capital within the country may also increase if there is a huge amount of FDI. FDI means foreign direct investment. If there is a great inflow of money from the foreign countries within inside India. Okay, so capital stock is also subjected to change. If there is a huge inflow of FDI, then it will increase, and if there is a huge outflow of this capital to the foreign countries, then obviously the capital will decrease. So let us keep it simple. Suppose that you have 10 labors and 10 capital, and as we know that the resource stock is subjected to change, we have, in the next case, what we have done, we have reduced the labor stock from 10 labor to 5 labor. It might happen. Okay, and what we have done, we have kept capital constant. Okay, so under these circumstances, what will happen, capital was favorable for the production of cars. Okay, so the resource that is capital, which is favorable for the production of cars, has remained intact or has remained constant. So the car production won't be affected because it needs capital, and there has not been a decrease in the amount of capital. Okay, it has remained same, so the production of cars won't be affected. However, wheat, which required huge amounts of labor, will face some challenges now, because the amount of labor was 10 in the earlier case. However, the availability of labor has decreased to 5. So wheat, being a labor intensive good, will obviously face a fall in its production, and the PPC will be of this shape now, ABC. So the new PPC is this CB. Now why we have kept B constant? Because this intercept B implies the production of cars. Okay, the maximum production of cars has remained same, because we have not witnessed a change in the capital stock. However, as the labor stock has decreased, the intercept of wheat has come down. Now we are capable of producing less amount of wheat because our labor force has declined. Okay, now another thing might have happened. Say your labor force has increased, keeping your capital constant. So CB PPC was related to this. If you witness an increment in your labor force, say you have from 10 labors you now have 15 labors. Okay, and your capital stock has still remained constant. So in the previous case, what we have done, we have decreased the labor force. Now in the new case, what we are doing, we have increased the labor force by 5 amount. Okay, so every time compare your PPC curve with this data. This is your base data. Okay, so compare this base data with this, and again you have to compare this base data with this. So what do we witness over here? That the labor force has increased. Now if the labor force has increased and keeping the capital stock constant, that means that the car production still won't get affected because capital stock has remained constant. So the resources favorable for the car production is still same, and therefore there won't be any change in the car production. However, the labor force has increased, which is a favorable element or a favorable resource for the wheat production, and therefore the PPC will now move outwards. Let us name it. Okay, so what do we see? If there is an increase in the resources of one good, okay, of one good, the PPC rotates outwards, and if there is a decrease in the resources, then the PPC rotates inwards. So this was the case of inward rotation, this was the case of outward rotation. And when do we say that the curve is rotating? When you see that one end or one intercept has remained fixed and the other intercept has changed, then we will call it rotation. However, if we witness that both the intercept has shifted, or if both the intercept have changed, then we will call it shifting. Okay, here only one intercept is changing and the other intercept has remained fixed, so this is a clear case of rotation. And when the resource increases, then the PPC rotates outwards, or you can say it rotates rightwards, or you can say the PPC rotates inwards in case of resource decrement. Okay, similarly you may also say that why only labor force is increasing or decreasing. We may also find this thing 5 capital. Okay, we may also find a decrement in the capital resource or capital stock. In that case, what will happen? First, let us draw a PPC corresponding to the base AB. Okay, so this axis implies car production, this axis implies wheat production. So if there is a decrement in the capital stock, see, we have decreased the capital stock and kept the labor constant. So what we will witness? We will witness that that wheat production has not been affected because the labor stock has remained same. However, what are we seeing? That we are seeing that the capital stock has reduced from 10 to 5, and therefore the car production will obviously get affected, and in this case the PPC will rotate in this manner. Okay, similarly, if we witness an increase in the capital stock, say this amount, what we will find? So if there is an increment in the capital stock, what we will find? We will see that the PPC rotates outwards. An increase in the capital stock will favor the car production, and therefore the PPC will rotate outwards in this manner. However, this increment in the capital stock won't affect the wheat production. Okay, wheat production will remain intact because the favorable resources, that is the labor, has still remained constant. So this is how. So we have already understood the concept of rotation. So when does rotation take place? When one end of the curve remains fixed and the other end changes. In that case we call it rotation. Now let us move to shifting. Okay, now what is shift? When does shifting occurs? Number 1, if resources favorable for the production of both goods changes. Okay, so in this case, what do we say you have 10 labor and 10 capital, and this is the your PPC curve named as AP. Here you are measuring car, here you are measuring weight. Okay, now in the earlier case, what we have done, we have kept one resource constant and the other resource we have changed. We have either increased or decreased it. Now say both labor and capital has decreased. Okay, in this case the PPC will turn out to be like this. Okay, so as the resources favorable for both the goods have decreased, their production capacity will also decrease, and the PPC will shift inwards or it will shift leftwards. We can see over here that both the intercepts have changed. So this is a clear case of shifting. Similarly, if the resources increase, we will witness a shifting of this PPC curve towards the outward side or the rightward side. Okay, so a shifting of PPC towards the right hand side implies a increase in your productive capacity, and a shifting of PPC towards your left hand side implies a decrement in your productive capacity. So we are clear now regarding how PPC changes its shape, how it rotates and shifts due to change in the resources alone. Okay, another reason for shifting and rotation of PPC is technology change. Okay, technology also implies your productivity or determines your productivity. Suppose you have a land, okay, and in this land if you do manual farming, that means if you do not use tractor and all and use only farmers to plow the fields and to reap the crops, okay, you will be able to generate 20 kgs of rice. Okay, so this 20 kgs of rice is being generated using manual labor. Now you can do you can go for upgradation of technology. Say now you are using tractor and other mechanical stuffs that are used in farming practices. Okay, so this is manual labor, and by using manual labor you can get 20 kgs of rice. Now in the same land, if you use tractor and other technologies, you might be able to produce 30 kgs of rice. Okay, obviously when you use some technological stuff, obviously our productivity increases. In government offices also, what we can see that the work that was being done by 10 persons during the 1990s or 1980s is now being done by a single person and a computer. Okay, so now what we are seeing, that introduction of computer has increased the productivity of a single person equivalent to the productivity of 10 person belonging to 1980s or 1990s. Okay, so introduction of technology helps us increase our productivity, and productivity is directly linked with PPC. Okay, so similarly if we say rotation due to technology change, if technology changes occur in only one good industry, keeping other constant. Say this is your PPC, A, B, car and wheat. Now assume that there has been a technological upgradation in the car industry alone, whereas the technology in the wheat industry has remained constant. There has not been any change in the technology of wheat industry. So in that case the PPC will rotate in this manner, because the car industry has witnessed an upgradation of technology, and therefore an upgradation of technology in the car industry will shift or will rotate the PPC rightward. Similarly, a degradation, obviously every time you won't witness a upgradation in technology, sometimes you may also face a degradation in technology. In that case PPC will move inwards. Okay, so over here we have seen only a upgradation or degradation of technology in only car industry, keeping the technology state of technology in the wheat industry constant. Similarly, we might also witness a upgradation in the technology of wheat industry, keeping the technology state of technology of car industry constant. In that case, if we witness a upgradation in technology of wheat industry, then it will move to somewhere here, it will rotate in this manner. If we witness a degradation in technology of the wheat industry, then it will rotate in this manner. Okay, the intercept of car industry is kept constant at point B because there is no change in the technology of car industry, and therefore the productivity of the car industry has remained constant at B. So in the previous page we have seen how PPC rotates due to technological changes in only one industry. It might happen that both the industry of car and wheat may witness a increase or upgradation in technology. Upgradation of technology in both industries. This curve, AB PPC curve, is the PPC curve prior to upgradation of technology. Okay. Now, if we witness a upgradation in technology in both the industry, then obviously the productive capacity of both the industry will increase and the PPC will shift outwards. So this shifting has been done or has been caused by an upgradation in technology in both the industries. If there is a degradation in technology in both the industry, then it might move inwards. The PPC will move inwards. So PPC basically shifts and rotates due to changes in technology and changes in resources. If the resource favorable for one commodity changes, or if the technology favorable for one commodity changes, then the PPC will witness rotation. If the resource for both the commodity changes, or if the technology for both the commodity changes, then PPC will witness a shifting. Okay.